Tuesday night to you. It is September the 22nd, 2020 here at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, live on 12 on Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761. Do not forget that tonight's show is presented by mybookie.ag. Be sure when you sign up on mybookie.ag for your sports betting needs, enter the promo code 12 on Sports. That's promo code 12OZ for up to a $1,000 first deposit bonus. On today's show, do not forget the stuff up top is pretty much what I will not be talking about. And also, if you want to engage with the show, MKADHD on Twitter. Well, like I said, it's Tuesday night. Here are tonight's topics. We're going to talk about the epic Sunday Night Football battle between Russell Wilson and Cam Newton. My gosh, Cam Newton is playing so well, and I might owe him an apology. Also, did the Cowboys come back, or did the Falcons collapse? Interesting stuff from a Georgia boy here. Mitchell Trubisky defeated Daniel Jones in my Mike Bowl 2020. I'll talk about that. Also, LeBron James, can he get to 6 rings? Is that humanly possible from year 17 looking forward? Also, our second consecutive week of the Tuesday night, Thursday night football preview. Cannot wait. I ran a poll that received 49 votes. And we'll talk about who you guys think is going to win, and also who I think is going to win between the Jaguars and the Dolphins. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Cam Newton and Russell Wilson, of course, battled out in what was an incredible game. Russell Wilson threw 5 of the most beautiful touchdown passes a quarterback can ever throw. He was absolutely magnificent. I picked the Seahawks late. I wanted to pick the Patriots. I ended up picking Seattle late, and I'm telling you what, guys, I was getting antsy because my picks this year, I went 12 and I want to say, where did I go last week? 12 and I want to say 4. Yeah, I went 12 and 4. I felt like I did a pretty good job. But man, this game was pretty good. This one came down right down to the wire. In fact, it came down to the final play, the final 3 feet. That's right, the final yard. Despite Russell Wilson throwing 5 touchdowns, Cam Newton fought back, looked incredible, threw for almost 400 yards. That's the most since his MVP campaign. He also rushed for 2 touchdowns. That was also incredible. But the last play of the game, of course, it was another goal line stand. This time it was by Seattle and not by the Patriots. And I guess Seattle got revenge for the Super Bowl in which Russell Wilson and the Seahawks decided to throw the ball from the 2-yard line with Marshawn Lynch. That's a story for another day. So a few things to get to. Number one, if there's anybody who's going to threaten Lamar Jackson as repeat MVP, it's going to be Russell Wilson. Yes, there have been guys like Kyler Murray playing very well. I will not have a Kyler Murray topic, but Kyler Murray is showing every bit of why being small does not matter in the NFL. If you have game, you got game. The fact is that Russell Wilson has been putting on an absolute clinic this season. And against the Patriots defense that had gotten 3 interceptions on Cam Newton and actually got 1 on this game on Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson lit them up. Flat out lit them up. And Patriots still crawled back in the game, but I felt like Russell Wilson pretty much controlled the game as he should, as he usually does. But it just goes to show, listen, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are absolutely fantastic. They might go down in history as some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But Russell Wilson is that dude. He's been doing it for a long time. He deserves our credits. As for Cam Newton, I want to first apologize. And not in the way that you would think, because I do believe that Cam Newton, there's a reason he was not signed. To every single media member, I'm talking to you, Rich Eisen, you're the latest one, who claimed that Cam Newton was blackballed and that's why he didn't sign. Again, he couldn't sign because nobody would take a physical on him. It wasn't until later on that Cam Newton was able to get a physical, and that's, of course, when things started taking off. But I have always said Cam Newton is not the greatest quarterback. He's very athletically gifted, but that does not always translate into winning. In the Super Bowl in 2015, he did not show a lot of fight. In fact, the Broncos pretty much punked him, as I said they would before that game started. Hence why the show was called Mike's at First. But the fact is, I was actually impressed with Cam Newton once again. And shout out Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. I didn't ever think it was possible, maybe because we haven't seen it yet in the modern NFL, for Bill Belichick to humble himself to Cam Newton's playing style. But he has been really, really good this season, albeit 2 games against the Dolphins, who are a hungry team, and, of course, the Seahawks, who are a pretty decent team as well. This game, of course, as you guys know, I love the quarterbacks, although I do not believe that I believe that they can affect the game, but I believe it's still a team game. But as a person who specializes on quarterbacks, both these quarterbacks played fantastic games. None of them should be mad. Cam Newton should be ecstatic that he's playing as well as he is. Patriots fans should be ecstatic that they have another guy, and the future's bright for both these teams. Are the Seahawks for real? They go, again, it's sad, but they go as far as Russell Wilson takes them. If that dude has a bad game, the Seahawks will get blown out. If he does not, they will win almost every single game. And that's why I picked the Seahawks to finish very close to the 49ers this year. So the Cowboys, and I don't really talk about the Cowboys a lot on this show. And there's a reason, because I feel like just because the national media talks about them does not mean that I have to. And I feel like it doesn't really matter. But the fact is, the Cowboys came back and beat the Atlanta Falcons 28-3. And listen, that's just an overplayed joke at this point. That gets old after a while. We know Tom Brady was considered the GOAT, and I've never understood why. But here's the deal. The Atlanta Falcons were up 20-0. 20-0 against an NFL team. In fact, since 1933, I believe, there has been 44 times prior to this point where a team has scored 39 points and forced 3 turnovers with having no turnovers of their own. They were 44-0. Now they're 44-1. Cowboys won 40-39. And the play that everyone's talking about, rightfully so, is the kickoff, or the onside kick that Greg Zuerlein attempts to give the Cowboys the ball for the final time. Greg Zuerlein kicks the ball where it spins, kind of like in a weird U pattern, kind of like those little toys where they go up and go down. You old heads know what I'm talking about when I say that, with little toys that spin up and down. It was like, the thing looked so cool when it spun. I have to give Greg Zuerlein complete credit for that. He clearly practices this. That being said, I don't know who's coaching the Falcons besides Dan Quinn, but I have been a Dan Quinn defender. He should be fired, officially. It's not the fact the Falcons have underperformed. It's not the fact the Falcons blew a 28-3 Super Bowl lead. It's the fact that this game shows coaching is a thing in the NFL. It was absolutely pathetic. Now, Brandon Marshall gets on FS1, First Things First, with Nick Wright, and he says, and I quote, I'm literally quoting this dude. I don't have the exact saying in front of me, but he said, "I was part of the hands team. We are taught to let the ball go past 10 yards. If it looks like it's not going to go, don't touch it." That is there's no way, I don't care what he says, there's no way an NFL team with opponents around them are telling their own players, do not touch the football. Do you realize what happens if the Falcons touch that football? A penalty flag is thrown saying the ball did not go 10 yards, and that means that the Falcons get the ball automatically. You literally can touch the ball. It will not matter if you're a Falcons player. Show me in the rule book where it does. I don't see it. The Atlanta Falcons lost that game. This was no Cowboys comeback. And people will try to say, well, Dak's a fighter. And I believe that Zeke Elliott was a bigger issue because Zeke was the guy who kept on churning the legs and wouldn't stop running the ball hard. If there is one time in sports history where an NFL team that won the game had no business, in my opinion, winning the game, it should not even be considered that they won, it's this game. Falcons do not lose that game if it wasn't for some dude on the hands team who's absolutely trash for what he did. You have one job in your entire life, and you failed miserably. And again, this goes to show, maybe this is a little Mike narrative working here. I firmly believe Matt Ryan is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. How is this game his fault? Forget the fact that Julio Jones, who is allergic to the end zone and needs Benadryl every single time he gets inside the 20-yard line. Forget the fact that Mohamed Sanu threw a dart to Julio Jones and he completely dropped it. Forget the fact that Matt Ryan had the team up 20-0. Forget the fact that he was up on the Patriots 28-3. It's his fault. The guy on the hands team cannot catch it. I mean, that's not Matt Ryan's fault. Matt Ryan is a dang good quarterback. For anybody to say otherwise is completely stupid and they're lying to themselves. Stop making Falcons jokes that have Matt Ryan as the punchline. I was completely devastated for that man. As a person who's a Colts fan that loves to see Matt Ryan perform well because of how, not just how great of a guy he is, but how good he is, I was sick to my stomach. The national media would be talking about Dak Prescott and not Matt Ryan. That's just sad. If Matt Ryan was the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons, they would have been Super Bowl champions by now. That dude is a baller. He's a very accurate quarterback. He saves the Falcons from being trash the last 10 seasons. He has been their guy and has kept them fairly competitive. I feel sorry for Matt Ryan after that game. Dan Quinn, I have never said this before on the show until now. You should be fired officially. I defended the man after 23. That was completely uncalled for, and it was just completely ridiculous that has to be said. Cowboys are 1-1 in the most awful and most humiliating way possible. It's pathetic. But it's not like they're better than, it's not like the Eagles are any better. I mean, I feel sorry for Carson Wentz, but he hasn't been great either. Okay, let's get to the Mike Bowl. Mike Bowl 2020. So, as you guys know, I have two things to tell you before this topic starts. Number one, I believe Mitchell Trubisky is not as bad as people claim. Yes, he is worse than Mahomes and Watson. It is not his fault the Bears drafted him. Number two, Daniel Jones is still better than Dwayne Haskins. I've said that since day one. I will continue to say that. First of all, the Bears' defense has been exceptional. Can we stop this and act like the Bears' defense has not been good? They dominate from start to finish in that game. I love seeing Trubisky and Daniel Jones go at it. That was cool to see two young guys that I support on this show go at it. I feel sorry for Daniel Jones, for the chopped liver that his offensive line is. See, over the weekend, Dwayne Haskins of the Washington football team runs into a sack. I quoted on my Twitter page at MKADHD. He runs into a sack with a clean pockets. Daniel Jones keeps being blindsided because his offensive linemen are trash and his receivers cannot get open. Keeps getting blindsided where he loses the football. But if he takes sacks, he'd also be criticized, so can your mouths. The dude had them one play away from beating the Bears' defense. But if he won that game, the media would have said, oh, well, it's just the Bears. Really? Also, give credit to Mitchell Trubisky, who again had a great game. Well, he had a great first half, really. But he had a really good game again, overall. Probably about a 6 or 7 out of 10. But according to the Twitter heads and talking heads on TV, all you're going to hear about is how he probably had like a 20. He probably had like a rating 20 out of 100, if I had to put a number on it. Like if you put the media with a gun to their head right now, they would say, oh, like Trubisky was trash, when he was clearly not. He was actually really good. Both these guys played pretty good games considering what the circumstances were. And I feel sorry that I have to defend them. Maybe I like getting angry. I don't know what it is. But the fact is, it is 10:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on 12 Sports, on TV channel 761. The Nuggets are leading the Lakers at halftime, for what that's worth. Lakers are up 2-0. I'll get to that later on. But I am just sick to my stomach of the criticism that certain quarterbacks receive. Like, we're going to give Josh Allen credit for not being able to throw a football. We're going to give Tom Brady credit for riding Bill Belichick defenses, but we're never going to give Daniel Jones credit because the media told us not to. I thought this was a very entertaining game. I was watching it live, and I was excited. I was very happy. I was flipping between that game and the Falcons and Cowboys game because those were two really good games. Daniel Jones, once again, has a game-winning drive. Could not complete it, but he was right there for it again. Eli Manning wrote two great defenses to Super Bowls, and he's going to get all the credit in the world. I think Daniel Jones has been just fine. Shout out to Mitchell Trubisky again for playing well. He's had two really good weeks against, albeit the Lions and the Giants. But again, it's not his fault he was drafted in second place. It's also not his fault that he's played two bad teams. He played well. I'm told both these guys cannot throw a football. They look pretty decent to me. I'm just saying. When we come back, we're going to get to, can LeBron James get to 6 rings, and how was that even brought up in conversation? And is it possible year 17? Also, I'm going to get to my Tuesday night, Thursday night football preview. What did the people say of 12 on Sports and of ESPN Pick'em? What do I say? We'll get to that in just a little bit. We'll be right back, guys.
Drinkade, ready for distribution worldwide.
All right, so how's everybody been doing tonight? I hope your Tuesday's been awesome. I just talked about some NFL stuff. I'll probably get to some more later on in the show. I'm probably going to have a little bit of time to do so. So now we're going to get to the 6 and 6. I put a play on words here because a lot of idiots on Twitter will say, well, 3 and 6 for LeBron James, obviously. So Anthony Davis, of course, Game 3 of the Nuggets and Lakers in the West Finals going on right now. Lakers are up 2-0. The Lakers are actually doing it pretty well. And Anthony Davis hit a game-winning three-pointer to send the Lakers to a 2-0 lead. And so, FS1 analyst Nick Wright has said in the past, I didn't know this, but Nick Wright, who's a LeBron fanboy, along with myself, obviously, he said he believes LeBron can get to 6 rings, or maybe 7. So, I'm going to be completely unbiased here for the first time ever about LeBron James. And it's not to say that LeBron James is not a great player because he's the greatest player of all time, in my opinion, ahead of Wilt Chamberlain and then Michael Jordan in third place. I'm sorry if you don't believe me. So, LeBron James in year 17 has been exceptional. I want to say he did lead the league. He did lead the league in assists, and personally, I think that will help make his career go longer. When guys like Rajon Rondo and Alex Caruso are dominating the ball control, it takes a little bit of miles off LeBron, who's obviously been a primary point guard and all kind of ball handling stuff in his entire career. A small forward a lot of time plays point forward. And rightfully so, because LeBron is an exceptional passer. That being said, I have to compromise here, and I feel bad. Okay, so I don't want to live in the time where LeBron James retires because I've been spoiled into thinking the man's never going to retire. And it really stinks because I've grown up watching this man play. I'm 23 years old. I started watching basketball, like NBA, pretty hardcore in 2007, 2008-ish, when the Heat had just won a title. So I'm a Heat fan, and obviously LeBron James coming to the Heat was just obviously incredible to me. I loved it. Loved every minute of it. But I almost like get borderline emotional, kind of like when people did when Kobe died. I'm more of the time zone of LeBron James, okay? LeBron getting to the age of retirement is going to come, and I don't want to live it, but I'm going to have to. I believe he will win 5 rings. I can guarantee 4. I'm not saying it's a cakewalk, but I believe the Lakers are. I've said all year they're going to get to 4, and I believe that's true. I believe LeBron can get to 5. I believe Lakers can win another one next year or a year after. He will not get to 6. He should have had about 6 by now, 5, at least 5 by now. Like, take 2011 away. If Michael Jordan fans can take away the first 3 years he gets swept by the Pistons, I can take away 1 year against the Mavericks when the Mavericks were incredible. I truly believe LeBron James can get to 5 rings. He looks like he's slowing down. When he's playing this year, he has been completely amazing. He has been spectacular. His defense has been willing. He has been a great passer as always. His dunking ability. He was not the washed king as people called him. But the fact is, he takes rests more than he used to. He doesn't load manage, but although his team is a minus whatever when he's off the court, which is sad, he's still, it's sad for me to say that LeBron James obviously, it's clear to me watching it hardcore that LeBron James gets gassed more than he used to. I don't know how much longer it can last. Now, I'm not saying now maybe he can ride the coattails. I don't think he'll ever come to a James Jones point. But I believe LeBron James could probably ride the coattails to a 6th ring if he gets lucky, right? If I believed in luck. He will win 5 rings as the primary guy. I believe that's his max. 6 rings as the guy is a little bit to ask for. I believe he's going to play possibly, it's possible until LeBron James Jr. or Bronny James comes into the league. That'd be kind of cool. I'm just not so sure if he can get to 6 rings as the guy or as a very good number 2. Because AD has been incredible this year, and LeBron James knew that it had to be the case for him to get his 4th ring. And I think 5 and 6 would be a heck of a career. Heck, 4 and 6 is amazing. Saying you got to the finals 10 times is absolutely exceptional. But I'm not sure if he can get to 6. I'm sorry, Nick Wright. And I love LeBron. It would make my absolute life to have LeBron James get to 6, even 7 rings. But I have to compromise for the first time. I'm honest. My sit at first is not popular, but it has to be said. He'll get to 5, and he could get to 6 or 7, but it's not going to happen the way he looks right now. He's going to start breaking down. The groin might mess him up more than usual. I've heard the groin's going to be a problem after a while. I hate to say it. That's my life, is watching LeBron James play basketball. And I'm a Heat fan. It would make my life as well to see the Heat against LeBron James in the finals. But hey. When I come back, we'll get to the Tuesday night, Thursday night football preview. We'll talk a little bit more about NFL Week 2 and wrap that up completely, put it in a little bow and send it off to 12 Ounce Sports. But first, a word from the whole 12 Ounce Sports team and Traverse Bay Farms. Be right back.
James A. Paxton here, weekly blog writer and host of The Media's Input, and this is 12 Ounce Sports.
It's Wednesday, my dude.
Fantastic. It's all this money, and that's it? We're okay with that? No. Baloney. I'm going to tell you what I think should happen.
The one, the only king on the ice himself, Philly Pete, and we are live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 7.
We talk about this every single week. Every single week somebody else is up for the document.
Everyone to Talking Miners. We're getting new at this thing. Great start to the show, everybody.
I'm going to give you all 30 seconds to make sure you get your popcorn in your soda can.
Welcome in live to the 12 Ounce Sports Studios.
World Hockey Report live comes here on 12 Ounce Sports. Cody Jansen with you, joined with Cam
It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime captain. And I got the Anglers, the primetime Anglers on 12 Ounce Sports.
Smarter by watching the Captain Lou Extravaganza live every Tuesday night at 8 on the 12 Ounce Sports Network.
For the marching exercise, you want to sit down in the center front of your chair, bring your feet shoulder width apart, and form a 90-degree angle with your knees. From here, you're going to lift one foot and raise the opposite arm, just as you march in place in your chair. Make sure you keep that core nice and tight and you breathe into it, and also maintain good posture with a straight back.
I appreciate everyone who's been watching the show so far. I believe I got some people somebody who actually commented on the show earlier. Somebody said the Patriots are winning it all again. That was from Eagles CHI, so Eagles Shy probably. So that's kind of cool to see that. But yeah, appreciate you for tuning in. If you're on Twitter, that is the place where I usually look at the comments. If you're on YouTube, I appreciate you. And also, if you're on Zingo TV, what's going on Zingo TV? It's your boy, Mike. So what is this graphic here? Of course, it's our show recap. Presented by 12sportsnetwork.com/Amazon. What you can do, you use this website to go get your Amazon shopping needs filled. A lot of cool stuff on there. Steel-toed boots that look like Nike shoes. That's kind of cool. I've worked with two guys now who have had those. I kind of want a pair. They're probably like $100, whatever. But yeah, next day should be going to Amazon. But be sure to use 12sportsnetwork.com/Amazon to get there. And it literally costs you nothing. It doesn't do anything but costs you an extra 5 seconds and gives guys like us money. Talkman Radio said we're going to use a lot of it for drugs and the rest of it for like maybe a good microphone or two. So, but here's our show recap presented by 12sportsnetwork.com/Amazon. Good to have that on board. So, Russell Wilson and Cam Newton had an epic duel. I owed Cam Newton an apology, and I lived up to it. Cam Newton looked really good. Also, shout out to Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels for humbling themselves. And the Seahawks will once again this year go as far as Russell Wilson takes them, and that could be pretty far. The dude's electric. Cowboys come back now. I'm looking at Falcons collapse. I'm calling what's his name? I've already fired him in my head. Oh, Dan Quinn. I'm calling for Daniel Quinn's job. I've already fired him here on Mike Said It First. So, yeah. And I also feel sorry for Matt Ryan for being in that situation. He's kept the Falcons competitive for 10 years. Mitchell Trubisky beat Daniel Jones, and I thought both looked pretty good given both their circumstances. Context matters, people. LeBron James could get to 6 rings, according to Nick Wright, maybe 7. I think he'd have to ride the coattails, not like in a better version of James Jones for rings 6 and 7. I believe very much he could get to number 5 as the primary or secondary option, but I don't believe he's going to get to 6 or 7. I'm sorry, LeBron James. I had to compromise. Love that guy's game, though. And now it's time for a Thursday night football preview. Of course, that was our 12 Sports Mike Said It First recap presented by 12sportsnetwork.com/Amazon, which cost you nothing. Okay. I want to first give credits to, I'm looking at the poll, 49 people that voted for Thursday Night Football. Who wins it? 0-2 Dolphins or 1-1 Jaguars. I have done this. I thought about this game. I'm not sure. The spread on it, I believe, is 3. It's funny how the NFL Network always gets the worst games. I feel like the NFL knows that guys do not have, like people do not have NFL Network. I think it also airs on Fox too, so I don't know why that would be a problem, but hey. But anyways, like last week we got the Bengals and the Browns, and while that was entertaining, it wasn't great. This week we get Ryan Fitzmagic against Gardner Minshew Mania, or what I like to call Cashew. So at first I picked the Jaguars to win this game, and then I kind of, flip-flop back and forth. I talked to my buddy James Paxton, who believes the, what did he say? I can't remember what he said. He said the Dolphins will win the game. So that was kind of cool that he chimed in. James Paxton, does a great job for 12 on Sports, by the way. But let's be very clear. This game, first of all, is a flip-flopper. So in case you're wondering who I picked, do not be surprised if it was the other way, because it's a flip-flopper. But I do believe in a flip-flopping back and forth between a flip-flopper game. And I don't usually go with the crowd here. But let's see here. 79.93% picked the Jaguars to win on the ESPN Pigskin Pick'em poll. 63% of 49 people for Mike's in the first poll picked the Jaguars. And I hate to say this, I'm going with the crowd. I've got Jaguars to win. I'm sorry. It's sad. Not really. It's my credibility on the line here. Maybe I'm picking it because of Cashew. We'll see what happens. Lakers, by the way, trailed the Nuggets 68-75. I appreciate you if you're watching live. If you're not, welcome to the replay, by the way. I haven't mentioned you guys yet. But no, I believe Jaguars are going to win this game. And it could come down to Minshew. Why did LeBron go down? Hold on. I'm trying to see why LeBron James is hurt. He might be flopping again. He's fine. He just got hit in the jaw. Or broke a tooth. I don't know what happened. He's fine. He always does this crap. Love you, LeBron. Again, I believe this will come down to maybe Minshew versus Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick has not been great. That was a flop, by the way. That was bad. But I do believe that the Jaguars will win the game. I think the Jaguars are actually playing better. Both teams in everybody's defense has played 2 division opponents. Like the Dolphins have already played the Patriots and the Bills in both games. They were pretty competitive, but not really. Jaguars beat my Colts. Screw Phillip Rivers. Remember that topic? That was fun. And also, the Jaguars played, what are they called? Jaguars played last week. Who did they play last week? I'm a fool. It was literally on Sunday. Played the Titans and nearly came back, but Cashew threw late interception. That was sad. That's my boy. I wish they weren't $5 a can, but hey, I'll take the quarterback. Okay. I don't think he's good. I just think he's a gamer. He's playing well for the Jaguars when they tank for Trevor Lawrence, right? But again, I got Jaguars to win the Thursday night football preview. So again, our topic, why am I doing this again? Our topics for the day, I clicked the wrong thing there. We talked about Russell Wilson being really good. He doesn't get enough credit. We talked about Cam Newton. I owe an apology to. Cowboys did not come back. The Falcons collapsed. But let's get to week 2 picks from the games. Again, I went 12-4. So I'm now 22 and I want to say 10. Oh, yeah, I missed the Saints game. Thank you, Drew Brees and the Saints for blowing that game. Raiders, I'm telling you, they look good, man. They're 2-0. I don't know why nothing was updated there. Oh, the Raiders are 2-0. They beat a good Saints team. They really did. I think John Gruden has done a great job with Mike Mayock over there. They don't get a lot of flashy guys, but they're getting a lot of guys that can just play ball. Ravens beat the Texans. I feel sorry for Deshaun Watson because they beat the Bill O'Briens. The Houston O'Briens are just not doing well. Kansas City Chiefs barely beat the Chargers. Justin Herbert actually looked okay. And I have not been a fan of him. I like him better than Dwayne Haskins for what that's worth. But I do believe that the Chargers played a competitive game once again. But then again, they always play the Chiefs competitively. I believe I actually had the Chiefs to not win by a bunch of points in that game. I forgot what my pick was. I picked the Chiefs to win, but not by a lot. So I'm not surprised the Chargers played well. Again, I mentioned shortly earlier that Kyler Murray played very well again against the Washington football team. Washington football team is actually not a bad team as much as people think. They're 1-1, obviously. They beat the Eagles in the comeback. I don't know what that's worth. But they've got a good physical team, kind of like the Raiders do. Raiders are like a better version of them. And, of course, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, good Lord, that's a match made. I'm not saying Kyler Murray is not incredible because he is. I've said that since day one. But DeAndre Hopkins can play. He played with Tom Savage as his quarterback and was balling out. So, good Lord. Dude's incredible. He goes anywhere. I can throw him the football right now, and he'll have 10 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. That's just insane to me. Tom Brady did beat the Panthers, although Christian McCaffrey went down. Not that it mattered. Buccaneers were winning anyways. Why is Adam Gase still the head coach? I feel like him and the owner do cocaine. Like, come on now. And the San Francisco 49ers, everybody but my mother got injured in that game, including Nick Bosa. I believe he's out for the season. Tough luck there. The Rams beat the Eagles 37-19. So I chose 3 upsets this week against the people. Eagles looked like crap again. Rams are not good. They're just play the Cowboys and the Eagles. I picked the Giants to beat the Bears. They came one play away, and I picked the Falcons to beat the Cowboys. And they came an onside kick away again. I cannot get over how stupid that was, especially living in Georgia. My Colts beat the Vikings, although Kirk Cousins is allergic to prosperity. And Phillip Rivers is still not good. We also lost Paris Campbell to a really bad injury. Wish the best to him. I hope he doesn't retire, but I wouldn't blame him if he does. Titans beat the Jaguars, like I said. Derrick Henry is that guy. And Minshew just couldn't do it by himself. Packers looked good again. Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers were incredible. Lions blew another lead. Sorry, Lions fans. You're not as good as you think you are every week. Drew Lock went down. I'm not sure what the extent of that injury is. I haven't really checked, but he went down. And also, so the Steelers' defense looks incredible again. Meanwhile, Lakers only trail by 6 now. That's going to be a really competitive game. Dolphins lost to the Bills 28-31 on a comeback hope. Josh Allen was good again. And the Browns, of course, beat the Bengals. We already talked about that last week. So every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Live, I recap my picks from the week. Again, I went 12-4. I got 22 points this year. So I think I've looked pretty good. Again, screw the Saints for that game. And screw the Falcons as well. This week coming up, on Sunday, of course, every Sunday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, live, I'm going to have my picks. I might have a new logo this week. So Good Morning with Mike said it first, I finally have a logo that doesn't look like my actual logo. So Jaguars, Dolphins, I've already got the Jaguars to win that game. I will pick Falcons and Bears. Can the Falcons rebound? Can the Bears go to 3-0? That'll be impressive. Rams are both 2-0. Eagles, Bengals, both 0-2. Joe Burrow against Carson Wentz. Washington football team against the Cleveland Browns. That should be a really fun game. Not really. I'm lying, by the way. That was a complete lie. Titans, Vikings. I'm not going to say what I'm going to think, but that's not good. Patriots against the Raiders. That could be a fun one. John Gruden against Bill Belichick with Cam Newton and Derek Carr. That'll be fun. 49ers against the Giants. Sorry, Daniel Jones. Love the guy, but good Lord. The Bill O'Briens will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers as Texans will play the Steelers, of course. Rivers and the Colts will take on Sam Darnold and the Jets. I like Sam Darnold. Adam Gase can snort something. He already has, whatever. Chargers, Panthers. I believe Tyrod Taylor is still the quarterback for Chargers fans. I'm sorry. Yeah. Cowboys, Seahawks. That'll be fun with no fans again. Buccaneers and the Broncos. Again, I'm not sure what Drew Lock's injury looks like. We'll have to see. I don't know why I don't know that. Lions, Cardinals. Kyler Murray continues his MVP campaign. Packers, Saints. Chiefs, Ravens. So, I don't have a graphic. I don't know. I knew I was forgetting something. I forgot the mic rank. I'll think on Sunday about my mic rank. If I had to put a number on it right now about who I think is the best team, let me give my top 3. I'll go number 1 is probably... I'll go Ravens. I'll go Ravens at 1. Packers at 2. Chiefs at 3. I'll have a full list. Well, that top 5 is really tough to pick, though. I would say I'm probably going to pick the Ravens at number 1 as the best team right now for my first mic rank of the season, but that's pretty much it. I don't want to get too far in depth into that. I believe Seahawks are as good as Russell Wilson. I will take that into consideration, but hey. Top 3 candidates right now for MVP, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and Lamar Jackson. That's not surprising. I love Kyler Murray. That dude's, oh my God, he's just incredible. That's pretty much it for me. It's 10:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. If you want to go to Zingo TV, that's a really good app. I love the app. I still have it on my phone. Zingo TV, promo code 120Z when you sign up. That's promo code 12 ounce when you sign up. They're free, and it's really awesome. They got a lot of cool channels. Listen, it's like Netflix season, Hulu. Hulu's trash, by the way. I was watching the Super Bowl this past season, and my little buddy was saying, hey, you know, nice touchdown. I'm like, what? We're like 5 minutes behind. So Hulu does not have live sports. Zingo TV does, however. We know baseball season was awesome. I'm not sure when the championship is for that race car series on 12 Sports, but that's been kind of fun as well. I am starving. We'll see, though. I got to eat some food, guys. I have not eaten. I don't know why. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you on Sunday morning to recap Thursday Night Football. Also talk about Nuggets and Lakers. If that's over by then, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. And, of course, we'll talk about Sunday Pick'em. And hopefully I have a new logo. I hope to get that tomorrow and unveil it on Friday. Have a good one, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. Hasta la vista, baby.